If you want to become a better musician, one of the most important things you can do is listen to music all the time. And while this seems simply enough on the surface, this also comes with a caveat that you should be listening to different types of music, including types of music you are not all that fond of, as this can help you incorporate different elements into your music and become a more well-rounded musician yourself. In order to help you pursue this path, then, here is a look at 4 different bands from the past that every musician should become familiar with, whether these are bands you like or not. In order to become a better musician, the Beatles. Many would consider this to be one of the most obvious names, and for good reason, as the Beatles remain perhaps the single most well-known band in history. But many people who listen to the Beatles these days wonder why they were such a big deal in their time. As you listen to the Beatles, however, take the time to also pay attention to the music that was being made around them at the time, and you will quickly realize just how much the Beatles themselves progressed in their few years on the scene, and how much they changed music around them, and the future of music, for that matter. As a result, Bob Dylan. One of the most powerful things you can do as a musician is to write lyrics that really stick with people, and that really get inside the listener and speak to them. And there was no one better at this than Bob Dylan. While many people are not particularly a fan of Bob Dylan's voice, you do not have to be a fan of his voice to appreciate what he did lyrically. Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix is still considered the best electric guitarist to come onto the scene, ever. And this was not simply for how much he changed the game in regards to guitar playing, but also for how darn good he actually was. There are many Hendrix tracks, particularly live tracks, that show off his amazing blend of technical mastery and spontaneity. And if you are a budding musician yourself, there is a lot you can learn from his flawless combination of these 2 musical elements. Miles Davis. The Miles Davis album Kind of Blue is considered the greatest jazz album of all time, but jazz musicians are not the only types of musicians who should dive deep into this album. With this album, Davis showed just how much can be done with the right group of musicians, ability for these musicians to freestyle together, and a veritable passion for music pouring from all of them.